I am a pup in a cup, and of course Netflix is going to release Fate's official trailer 2 days before the premiere. After all, the hype has been boiling like an ice cube. Time to do a quickie and dirty video.
Magic lives in the very fabric of nature.
I kinda agree with that statement. Sounds like somebody smart wrote the first draft of the script before Netflix and its showrunner interfered. That song sounds very depressing. I know things are relative, however, if this is the starting point, that performance sounds crushing. What's with Bloom's hair? It's messy. Obviously original Bloom started with a bad hair, and so she remained until the end. However, that wasn't because her hair was untidy, but because her hair was fire. Abigail Bloom, on the other hand... Get a hairbrush, woman. Also, I don't know if the camera loves Abigail Cohen, but she kinda looks like a witch.
Wow, you are so lost. You must be a fairy.
So, if she's lost, she's necessarily a fairy. And if she's a witch, she's necessarily found? You know, it would have been really awkward if Bloom was a witch instead. That condescending smile makes me want to punch that man. I wonder if any woman would find that creature even remotely attractive after one such first interaction. Certainly you're not invited for a beer, mate.
Your first year is all about the element you were born with.
Yes, the elemental map that was downgraded to witch. Or... mind. Lightning. That garbage seems to be throwing new elements at the alchemical table with reckless abandon. That seductive smile there makes you want to... Beatrix.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. There goes the Peace Corps. That reminds me of Kurtzman Trek. Fucking cool anyway.
Fairy magic
Holy shit.
is linked to emotion. Love, hatred, fear.
Why hatred? Why fear? Aren't those things that should be practiced by witches? What brilliant gender mind and their showrunner came up with the idea of fairy magic powered by hatred? Why are 2 emotions of 3 negative? Where's Cloud Tower? Yeah, it's probably the trailer, but we see how Abigail Bloom masters her magic powers with no trouble. Not like that loser who couldn't do the simplest magic exercise of changing her hair color.
Do you know why the barrier exists?
To protect the school from burned ones.
Be thankful you've never seen a burnt one.
Well, the barrier existed to all of Bloom's parents inside the Garden of Eden, so they couldn't follow her on her journey to adulthood. The concept of Gardenia as the Garden of Eden is not self-evident, and understanding it requires more sophistication than Fate and its showrunner appear to possess. And now, Castle Althea Warts is just another Garden of Eden. Simple enough concept that even Fate and its showrunner understand without too much effort.
Bloom.
Horror 101. Alright, baffled mind of mine. Even Eugenio Straffi said darker. However, by darker, I'd understand fewer cheesy scenes, like Tekna using a bucket as a hat. But that... Did they crossbreed Ridley Scott's Alien with Winx Club and the showrunner? That photo? I imagine that might be an actual photo of Abigail Cohen's family, but in the context of Bloom, they weren't even trying.
Magic can be dangerous, as you well know.
Of course magic can be dangerous if used irresponsibly. That's why in Harry Potter, children are forbidden from casting spells. Also, what's with the fire? Did Bloom just roast her parents? If that's the case, that's not darker Winx. That's simply not Winx.
There's a war on the horizon.
Oh, and I'm so excited by it. Look at the excitement in my voice. There was a war in Winx Club, but with the fears of parenthood. You see, a dumb, underfunded, and past deadline cartoon treated you as more sophisticated human beings than the live-action counterpart 17 years later.
I always knew your path wouldn't be like everyone else's. But I can't wait to see who you become.
Remember how Headmistress Faragonda was trying to hide Bloom's past and powers from her? Well, Abigail Bloom appears to be the opposite. Let's keep affirming Mary Sue and her Mary Sue status. That face. What am I to make of that face? Feels like Bloom is so aroused by her power that she's about to start mating with herself.
I was kind of bummed I didn't see a single pair of wings.
No, that's not a bummer. That's bait and switch. For now, it's just bait. And I really hope I'll be a fool, and Abigail Bloom is going to pull off a Bloom transformation that will slam Sailor Moon into the ground. But, as things stand now, the switch is a lot more likely to happen. Bloom and her showrunner are now Avatar, the Last Gender Bender.